everybody. Hello friends and everybody in Phillyville. I'm Renee Chudkowski, back again to bring you an amazing appetizer today. I debated on putting this appetizer in because it's so easy, but you know what? Every once in a while somebody needs a super easy 5-minute appetizer that you can put together and be guaranteed that your friends are going to like. As a matter of fact, I've got company coming over in 20 minutes, and I'm going to get this filmed, I'm going to get it uploaded, and serve this as my appetizer. I call that multitasking, and that's something that real women have to do. So, alright, I call this a blue cheese mousse with ripened pears, and the only pre-planning you kind of need to do is to make sure that you got some nice ripe pears on hand. I usually do have them on hand anyhow because we do like pears, and today I'm going to be serving, I call these my ABCs. This is A for Anjou, B for Bartlett, and C for red. You might be thinking that C doesn't, red doesn't really start with C or whatever, but okay, so this is how I work with a mnemonic device. This is crimson, and crimson is red, so that's how I can remember, but pretty simple. And I usually, when I'm at the store buying these, I'll pick up an assortment because, while I love the taste of the Anjou pears, I think the blush of the Bartlett pears are really cute, and then the red just adds some color. So basically what you need is a nice ripe pear. So, okay, what we're going to start with, of course, is our Philly cream cheese. I like the 1/3 less fat cream cheese for this particular recipe because it's nice and a little bit softer, and it blends really well with the blue cheese that I mix in. I'm using the 8-ounce brick, and I softened it in the microwave for maybe 30 seconds or so, and I'm adding it with about a tablespoon of milk. And you can add whatever kind of milk you have on hand, or if you want it super rich, you could actually even add a little bit of cream to it. And then because it's already softened, it doesn't take but a minute to whisk it up nice and light. And you can see here what a nice job it does. Okay, I'm going to clean off the whisk here. I joke around about this, and I tell everybody if I wasn't on camera, I'd probably be having a little snack right now. But I'm just going to put this in the sink. Next thing I'm going to do is take a scraper and just kind of work this around, and the softened cream cheese, or the base of the mousse, comes in the center, and you can see how nice and soft it is. Looks nice and creamy. To that, I'm going to add 6 to 8 ounces, which is roughly going to translate to about a 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of blue cheese crumbles. And this is where you can get a little bit creative. I'm just using basically a generic grocery store crumbled blue cheese, but if you particularly like a certain kind of cheese, like maybe a Maytag, something that has a nice little bite to it, or if you like the Gorgonzolas, you can substitute any type of a blue cheese for this. And then if by some chance you're not a blue cheese fan, but you like the idea of a nice, quick, and easy appetizer, you can leave the blue cheese out and maybe add a little more garlic to the mix. So I'm going to mix in the blue cheese crumbles a little bit, and you can see that while the cream cheese is soft, the blue cheese is going to kind of hold its own in there. To that, I'm going to add a little bit, about 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder or granulated garlic. You can use either one. And again, most of the time I would prefer to use a fresh garlic, a freshly squeezed garlic, but that imparts a pretty strong flavor to this, and I like this to be kind of like an essence of garlic. So I just put a little bit of the garlic powder in. So this is going to mix up, and basically at this point here, all you need to do is mix it up so it's nice and blended. And I try to make sure that the powder gets mixed in well. Alright, I take whatever my favorite serving platter is at the moment. I'm kind of in love with this little bamboo thing right now. And I'm going to plop my cream cheese and blue cheese mixture in the middle, which as far as I'm concerned now I can call a blue cheese mousse. And just kind of spread that out just a little here. And again, if you weren't watching, I would be having myself a little snack right now, but I'm just going to pop it in the sink. And the next thing we're going to prepare are the pears. Did you get it? Prepare the pears. Okay, so I explained it. I'm going to take the Anjou first, and I'm going to cut it right in half lengthwise. And you can see, as I go to cut through, it's very, very nice and ripe. A ripe pear will have a little bit of a give to it when you go to pull it out. Then I'm going to take just a teaspoon, and I'm going to just ease this out of the center. This is the core. And as long as it's nice and ripe, you're going to be able to just pull that right out, just like this. So this is going to stay intact. I'm going to do the same thing. I'll do a couple of them here. I'll do the same thing with the Bartlett. And you can see that, again, these are nice and ripe. If you should happen to have a little brown spot, just take the tip of your spoon and pull it out. It's kind of a trade-off. If you're going to have a nice ripe pear, you're probably going to have a brown spot or two. And then I'm going to switch over to the red pear. And you know, the red pears have a tendency to have a little bit of a firmer skin. So what I like to do with the red pears is to make sure that they're extremely ripe, because that way that the skin's going to be a little bit tender and the flesh is going to be a little bit nicer and easier to eat. And then just scoop this right out. If you have one of those little tools called a tomato corer, you can use one of those too. So I'm just going to kind of score this and ease it out. Of course, it came out a lot easier in practice. Okay, so now I have 3 lovely colored pears. I'm going to take my knife and kind of put it on an angle and just kind of run it through like this. I've got ever so slightly an angle on the knife, and I'm going to try to keep it all together like this. And I'm going to put my knife right underneath and transfer it to the serving platter, and then just give it a little slide with your hand like that. I'm going to do the same thing with the Bartlett. Transfer it over. Give this a little push like this. And then the same thing with the Anjou. The more even you can get the slices, the better it turns out. Easier it is to serve. And slip your knife underneath. Transfer it just like this. Give it just a little bend like this. Now I know my company's coming over. Well, now it's about 15 minutes. My company's coming over, so I don't need to worry about these browning. If I were to worry about it browning a little bit, I would dip these in a little bit of lemon lime soda, anything with a little bit of a citric acid in it. That gives it enough citric acid basically to keep it from turning while you're serving it without adding a lot of extra flavor. A lot of times you hear about dipping it in lemon juice or something like that, but that does give it a little more of a tart flavor. So a little bit of lemon lime soda if you dip your pears or your apples, and it's enough to keep them from turning. Alright, you probably want to know what we're going to serve this on. I am going to serve it today with a couple baguettes. I like a multi-grain. My husband likes just a plain white baguette. So what I'm going to do is take my bread knife, and again I'm going to leave it on the bias and cut through. Give a few cuts like this. And I don't even warm this. However, if you like it super crispy bread, you could actually cook it and put it on the grill or a grill pan, or just toast it in the oven for just a little bit. French baguette there. And this is a multi-grain baguette, one of my favorites. And you know what? I think these are sold in all of the grocery stores now. So you can pick whatever was your favorite. And again, just a few slices on the bias. And we are going to transfer these slices. I keep saying we like you guys are doing anything, but we're all kind of in this together. Transfer this over. And voila, you've got a lovely serving tray and a beautiful appetizer. I am going to show you how I like to eat this. I would take, in my case, a multi-grain baguette. Take a little bit of my blue cheese mousse. I do love blue cheese, and I love, love, love the consistency that the cream cheese holds up in this. And then I think I'll have one of my red pears, just like this. And this is my blue cheese mousse with ripened pears. Thanks. Take care and have a good one.